So today starts off with an 8-mile water carry, 1,300 foot in 6 miles, I think. So it's a water carry uphill. And then after that one, there will be another one. I think it's a 9-mile water carry, probably another 6 miles uphill. Going up that way. Guess what I didn't mention was that it's only 27 miles to the interstate. So however many miles I do today will affect how early I get there tomorrow. And of course, how early I get up tomorrow. Coming from that way. Coming from there, and just want to say the it hasn't been too bad yet. A couple of 20 or 30 foot sections that were steep. I'm 2 1/4 in and not quite an hour in, so making good time. If I could keep this up, I could make it to town today. Big rocks and shade. Pretty day. Coming from that way, I'm on the west face of this hillside, so it's nice and shaded and cool. And got a little break from the uphill going that way. I was looking, this uphill stretch isn't going to be as bad as the one later in the day, but that's all right. Trail followed a logging road coming from that way. Made for a really easy grade. And had a little break from the uphill, but going up some more. Only got a couple miles left and they'll go down to a water source. Got steps. Another giant. Say it's like 4 foot across. So that spot on my big toe is feeling better today. I didn't dig at it with a pocket knife or a safety pin. And my feet, the soreness is down. And I like walking on pine needles. Going that way. That one was a little bit harder to get underneath. See that the first one went and they cleared it. This one must have still been standing, come down since. Almost done with this stretch of uphill. All right, the 6-mile uphill is done. I've got 2 miles of down. It looks real choppy, so there'll be little ups, but nothing big. 2 miles to water. Feeling pretty good. It's 10:20. Coming down. It hasn't been a lot. I think I'm 1.5 miles out of the 2 miles of down. But going that way, figured. Got a big old rock. This is Trough Creek. Doesn't look big enough for that waterfall. I'd hope to get another shot of that waterfall, but I guess not. Well, it's about 11:30. Done with that 2-mile downhill. I drank a bottle of water and I'm taking a little less than half. Because in 3 miles, there's another water source and then starts another big uphill. In the description, it says this is tiny. Well, that's a good stream right there. There's campsites like 500 foot back. Would have been a great place to camp. But I don't need water, and I need to get going. So, just crossed over this, and as I hopped down, that right there caught and ripped a hole in one of the side pockets of my pack. How does that make me feel? Coming from that way. It's noon and I've got 10 miles done. That's not great, but for me it's not bad. Going that way. At the top of the last climb I had a little bit of signal and saw where more hikers I know that were behind me have skipped a few hundred miles and are already up in Oregon. And just thinking about, I'm going to skip less than 100 miles. At least that's the plan. Get up to Syed Valley, at least walk into Oregon. Then there's fires up there too. It's just something to be sitting and thinking about without any service down here to look up more information. I want to finish the trail, but I don't want to be done before I'm ready. Coming from that way. And it is fixing to get sunny for a little bit. I'm not going to get out the hat yet. I'm going over there. Surely I'll be in the shade before too long. Here's Squaw Valley Creek, which marks the beginning of my second big uphill of the day. Or I guess you could say my last big uphill of the day. I need water, so I'm going to have to climb down there. Get some water. Doesn't that look nice? Caught it with short circuit. He took a dip. That is cold water, and I don't do cold water. It's way deep right there. But I got my water, and then I'm going to climb up and out of here. So it's about 5.5 miles of up, 2,000 foot. But the first 2 miles, you're going to be like 500 foot elevation gain per mile. I took a little break, and I'm feeling rested. And I've got 2 bottles of water. Came up from over there and took a break under a tree over there. Realized I haven't really been doing any video. I was just focused on getting up this hill. I'm just about done with the 2 miles of steep, which is good. Then I'll have about 3.5 of not as steep. Then a few more, like 1 or 2 flat, and then down to some water. And I'm doing all right. It only took me about an hour. That little break down there at the bottom must have really helped. There's all kinds of tent sites up here. I wouldn't have enjoyed carrying water up here to camp, but it looks like a nice place to camp. Nice breeze, a little bit of cell phone service. Got a few more miles of uphill, and then I'll be flat and then downhill. And it'll just be deciding how far do I want to go. With service, I looked up, and it looks like the bus into town leaves at like 8:30 in the morning and 7 something at night, which isn't very convenient for my plans, so it looks like I might be hitching whenever I get to the highway, which is not easy on an interstate either. Somehow the shadow and the sun looks so bright. Anyway, feeling pretty good, and I am just about to the top of this uphill section. I thought I ought to stop, get some video. You know, I'm going to miss it. Be a shame once I'm done. I won't have any more uphill today. It's about 3:30. So get up there, do the flat, just go downhill, get me some water, and then see how many miles I can do before I find camp. Another great big one. Whoa. Coming from that way, and look at how nice and flat the trail is. 2 miles, and in total like 140 foot up and 115 down in 2 miles. That's about as flat as you get. So I plan on doing those pretty quick, and then I'll start going downhill, get water, start thinking about camp here in a few hours. I'm coming from over there, and all day felt like I didn't really have much to look at. And now I've got these great views. I haven't been able to get them all in one shot, so I figured I'd go ahead and take this chance. There's Shasta up there. There's some other neat stuff over here I took pictures of. See if I can get a shot of them, all of it at once, but going up that way. And it's 4 o'clock. Now that I think of it, I'm coming up on I-5. That might be it down there. So that might be Castle Crags. It's gotten sunny again, but like I said, it's 4 o'clock. Don't have a lot of daylight left. I don't need a hat or shirt. I won't get burned. Coming from that way, and a little ways back there was a junction. People were talking about an alternate, and if you have enough water, and I thought they were talking about going up over a ridge, and I now understand that the alternate was a shortcut, cut off 3 miles, but it cut off the 2 nearest water sources. But that would have been an hour and a half closer to town. The next water source would have been then like 5 miles from there, and I had half a bottle of water. And so I'm not a purist, and I have a little bit of regret, because if I'd done that, I might have been able to make it to town in time for that early morning bus, that 8 o'clock something, 8:30. So I'm going to put it out of my head and stick to the original plan, which is get the water, drink some, load up, and then go find a tent site. So there's one water source. Quite a ways uphill, I crossed across there and there was no water, so it's got to be spring fed, got to be cold. Not going to fill up because there's another water source that's better in about 8/10 of a mile, so I'll fill up there, but I'm going to drink some water now. Coming from there, and there's no view anyway, but it's 5:20 and I'm at 21 miles. So I've had a pretty good day. Just the closer I get to town, the earlier I get there, and still working out exactly what my plan's going to be. I downloaded the schedule for that bus, so that's what I'll be figuring out at camp tonight. And I'll try to go ahead and get this edited and uploaded so I can find some Wi-Fi, get everything uploaded, and then get moving somewhere. Another good blowdown. So this is Falls Creek, and it's pretty, but it's not exactly gushing. I'm going to fill up for the night. I think it's only like 4 miles to the next water source, so enough for tonight and tomorrow morning. It's 6:45. I think about 1.5 miles I'll find a spot to camp, call it early night, and be ready to get down to the highway tomorrow. So it's 6 o'clock now. Just finished filling the 4 bottles of water, and they are heavy. And hopefully they don't fall out of that side pocket. I thought I had duct tape in the top of my pack, but apparently it's at the bottom, if I still have it at all. Time to find a place to camp. Where I was editing video before, I was surprised how much of this you were able to see. But with the sun and the smoke, I still don't think it's much. Well, that looks a little bit better. I don't think I've gone 1/10 of a mile from the road. And this area looks fine. Don't see any dead trees around. Except for that one, but I mean, it's already fallen, so. But there's a view of Shasta up there on the road. And whereas I can feel a breeze here, I know I'll have more up there. I'm going back up to the road. There's a few hikers behind me. They might want to stop here, and I see room for all three of them. So that right there looks really flat. This looks fairly flat. Rocks enough to probably set up the tent. Look at that view of Shasta. It's my hope that tomorrow sun comes up over here and makes that real impressive. It's also my plan to be up early enough to get a picture of it. In the meantime, I'm going to set up camp. So I don't know if I covered it before about how I staked the tent without stakes, just putting sticks underneath the rocks. And I was really looking forward to the breeze tonight. It's not going to go straight through there because it appears to be coming from this direction. Oh yeah, I have neighbors. But if I go through town, Shasta has an outfitter. If I forget to buy tent stakes, well, then everybody gets to laugh. And just take another look at Shasta. And because he's wondering whether I was going to put him in the video or not, Short Circuit caught up to me. Or I guess I passed him a little bit. He caught up to me since I left Bernie before he did, but it's a beautiful day.